Hey, what's up? Okay, oh, I don't like this. I have bad anxiety when it comes to this. Okay, gathering myself. So, I'm Michaela, and I decided to start a YouTube channel, considering I have an Instagram for this subject that I will be covering somewhat and living through. It's great. But I totally lost my train of thought. Pausing. Okay. So, this channel is gonna be kind of a mental health advocacy type thing. And also kind of a vlog, considering I have mental illness, and it would help to know that you're not alone. And I have bad anxiety when it comes to this, obviously. I'm not sure how to do a YouTube video because I've never done one before, so I'm just winging it right now. I don't have anything other than a cell phone and a textbook because I'm gonna read from it. Oh, and I have a little plan because I do planners in my meantime. Fun time, whatever you want to call it. So I suffer from, these are my official diagnosis, but I have questions about other ones, but I have a psych appointment on next Friday. Yeah, so I'm gonna bring those up because I'm curious. So I'm Michaela. I'm a 20-year-old nursing student at USC. I'm from South Carolina, but I'm transferring back from USC back home, and I'm gonna do the rest of my nursing classes at Trident Tech. And I want to be a doctor when I grow up. I either want to be a psychiatrist, which is weird, but I either want to be a psychiatrist or a surgeon. Two completely different specialties, but whatever. I do a lot of advocacy things. I do a lot of fundraising for mental illness, specifically the Out of the Darkness Walk for suicide prevention. And I did the NEDA Walk, which is National Eating Disorders Association. I've raised around $800 for the suicide awareness, and I raised like $400, I think, for the National Eating Disorders one, because I have very nice and supportive family members and friends. So thank you to them. Okay, so I was officially diagnosed. Sorry, I go off track a lot. It's normal for me. So I was diagnosed officially with borderline personality disorder, major depressive disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, and panic disorder. I'm curious to depersonalization derealization disorder, or a type of dissociative amnesia, but I will be further discussing that with my psychiatrist and get back to you on that. So those are my diagnoses. C's. Anyway, so many people don't understand what borderline personality disorder is, and that's probably going to be the majority of what I talk about because it is so, not taboo, but not really heard about or researched much at all, because it does affect a small part of the population, but it has very high suicide rates, which is no bueno. So yeah. And I also want to help people not feel as alone, because I know it's bad. It feels bad, and you're not alone. So I will be doing that. Okay. So what else? Okay. So I'm gonna just start with what borderline personality disorder is, or the diagnostic criteria according to the DSM-5. So it is I'm using my textbook because of my studying. I studied 99% of my day, and I have a little baby break at the end of the day, but it's either no sleep or fail out of school. So, you know which one I pick. Okay. It is a pervasive pattern of instability of interpersonal relationships, self-image, and effects and marked impulsivity, beginning by early adulthood and present in a variety of contexts, as indicated by 5 or more of the following. Frantic efforts to avoid real or imagined abandonment. Note, do not include suicidal or self-mutilating behavior covered in Criterion 5. A pattern of unstable and intense interpersonal relationships characterized by alternating between extremes of idealization and devaluation. So that is basically like seeing black and white in someone, so like they're either all good or all bad. Like you can have those ideas or thoughts. 3, identity disturbance, markedly, I don't know, and persistently unstable self-image or sense of self. 4, impulsivity in at least 2 areas that are potentially self-damaging. Examples include spending, sex, substance abuse, reckless driving, binge eating. Note, do not include suicidal ideation or self-mutilating behavior. 5 is recurrent suicidal behavior, gestures, or threats, or self-mutilating behavior. Why would they put "or" twice? What? Anyway. Affective instability due to a marked reactivity of mood. Examples include intense episodic dysphoria, irritability, or anxiety usually lasting a few hours and only rarely more than a few days. 7, chronic feelings of emptiness. 8, inappropriate, intense anger or difficulty controlling anger. Examples include frequent displays of temper, constant anger, recurrent physical fights. And 9 is transient stress-related paranoid ideation or severe dissociative symptoms. So I experience a lot of dissociation, so it's a little worrisome because I forget quite often, and like I take exams and I can look at them and everything just goes away. And I study all the time because I try not to forget, but I still forget like everything. It's awful. And people like point it out too, so it's kind of one of those things where I'm like, is this normal? Is this really normal? But apparently that's what it says. So I have pretty much all of those, except I started doing dialectical behavior therapy, which is the most effective for borderline personality disorder patients, according to research. And it helped me with my impulsive actions. I still have impulsive actions. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. But it's mellowed out, so we're good there. But yeah, so that's what that is. I think most people know what depression is, or major depressive disorder, and things like that. So I can cover those in a different video. I still don't know if I'm posting this video, and if I do, go me, but if not, I'm sorry. So what I experience is pretty much all of them. Mainly dissociation has been kind of a problem lately. I'm also on medication, so I'm doing pretty much everything I can to try and control what goes on up here in my little brain. So I take Lamictal, propranolol, I don't know, it's a weird one. Clonazepam at night for bed. I take Vyvanse and Adderall during the day. Lamictal is the mood stabilizer, and then I take Abilify, which I just added recently because I was looking up online like medications that could possibly help, because I had felt really, really bad. And so I made a list, gave it to my psychiatrist, and she helped me figure out which one would be best. And we chose Abilify, and it has helped tremendously. It's great. So I finally found some sort of concoction that works. After 8 years of trying. So be patient with yourself if you do struggle with this disorder. It takes a long time, and usually around like 15, 16 is when it really takes hold, and it's like super hard because you're like trying to be independent. You can't be independent because you're with your parents, usually, in most circumstances, unless you're emancipated. But it's a struggle, and you just have to be patient. It's easier said than done, but it will pass. I can promise it, because I've known about it since I was around 12, 13. I did the stupid personality disorder test online. I was like, oh, it's probably not real, but let's just see. Because I was bored at like 3 o'clock in the morning or something like that. I knew I had insomnia as well. Sorry, I forgot to cover that one. But, so I did it, and borderline personality disorder was like pretty high up on the scale of whether I had it or not. So I never brought it up, but I did a few years ago. I had told my psychiatrist that I had felt how I felt, which was pretty much everything in the symptoms or criteria, and I brought it up as borderline personality disorder being a concern of mine, considering I took this test, and I didn't want to self-diagnose or anything, but it was just something to think about. So we had some more sessions. This was with my psychiatrist, Dr. Phelps. He worked at my Mount Pleasant Psychiatry. He unfortunately left. My heart broke real hard. He was a great psychiatrist. I loved him lots. He is a very smart man. But so after a few sessions, he was like, okay, so I know you want to be a psychiatrist. I know that this is what matters to you and stuff. So here is symptoms that this person's like experiencing, and it was my symptoms. And so I was like, what? I was kind of confused at first, and he was like, what's the diagnosis? And I said borderline personality disorder. He was like, there you go. So I got to diagnose myself. It was really cool, but it was really like upsetting. But mainly if you do have borderline, that getting that diagnosis is the biggest relief in the world. It's finally like, I have an answer for all of this, and you can go and do your research on it and kind of like learn as much as possible on it. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. For most. Others get quite upset, which is totally understandable, because it is like one of those disorders that's so under-researched, and there's no cure for it. There's treatment. There's definitely treatment. There's therapy. There's medicine. That's pretty much all you can do, which I have to work hard at every day. But it's definitely worth it if you do work hard at it. Of course, I have my flaws. Like, I suck at a lot of stuff, but I don't know, you gotta keep going. I've decided that suicide is no longer in my list of possible outcomes, because I've attempted 9 times and I'm still here. So there has to be some reason, and whether it's helping people or I don't know. I only see myself helping people. I don't know. Whether it's that or something else, there's a reason I'm here. So I gotta push through. But I think that's gonna be all for this video, because I don't know what I'm doing and I gotta do my research. And I also have to finish studying for my psychology exam. Yay! I'm so excited. But I hope it wasn't too bad. How do you say bye? Do you just like, thanks, follow, subscribe? Is that how it works? Because that's what I usually see. So, thanks. Thanks for watching. Follow or subscribe. I'll probably add my Instagram on here eventually for my Borderline account, and I could add my main one, but I think I'm just gonna stick with the Borderline account. But yeah, let's end it with Dopey. Dopey's my dude. Dopey. This is Dopey, everybody. This is my dog. He's really weird. Okay, that was all from Dopey and I. Okay, y'all have a good one.